Hey, fellow entrepreneurs, welcome to another module. And in this session, we're going to cover another overview of Amazon Seller Central. And the reason why is because Seller Central is a fairly, I don't want to say complex, but it's fairly rich in terms of the features, in terms of all of the information that they present. It's almost like they have too much information. They have too many reports and too much data. And we this business selling products can become complex. And I think Amazon has done a decent job. I wouldn't say a great job, but I would say a decent job at taking all of that information and trying to present it to you, the seller, in a somewhat organized manner. But there is a lot of clicking around, there's a lot of hidden information, and the key here is in the beginning it can seem a little overwhelming, and that's normal. So don't fret, don't get anxious. Just chill out. Just understand that you just need right now, when you begin to sell, some of the basics. You need to know where your inventory is. You need to know where your messages are. You need to know where your performance report is, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to spend this session covering that. Don't worry about the 99 other reports, and don't worry about trying to understand and master all of it, because really, again, there's just a lot. There's a lot of the features that even I, as an experienced seller, don't use, and there are some redundancies. So again, there's a lot that Amazon Seller Central presents, but you don't need to master it all. You do need to, however, make sure that you understand where the critical information is and that you're visiting and looking at that every day. Okay, so sit back, pull up your computer, grab your coffee or your chai or Coca-Cola or your favorite drink, and let's spend the next 30 minutes, 40 minutes going over this. So we're going to start at the home page. Once you log in, then this is the view that you get, and the gray box is obviously I'm just covering up my products for now, but you get all the information. So let's go over this main screen, and then I'm going to spend some time over a few other things that I want you to pay attention to. So again, your orders, and this is real time. It's showing 0 right now, but there's actually some activity that happened last day, last 7 days, seller fulfilled. So I didn't actually do any of this, and because everything I do or we do is FBA, so these are all 0. Okay, the activity that really did happen is this: fulfilled by Amazon in the last day 5, in the last 7 days 111 items were managed or processed by Amazon. I'm actually hitting very low numbers these days because I have kind of a good problem, but a bad problem, and that is that my stock has been selling out really fast, like much faster than I expected, like 3-4 times faster than I expected. So it's good that my products are moving fast, but it's bad because I've run out of stock. So it's it's a little frustrating, and that'll happen. You'll hit on your products and they move fast, and you got to work with your suppliers in China, and sometimes they take some time to manufacture that stuff, and unfortunately you're just sitting there. So that's also a common problem. I know almost every seller I know does run out of stock. Okay, so moving on. So this is your orders. Seller fulfilled, you're probably going to have 0 unless you're fulfilling it yourself. Okay, and some people do that as well, but FBA stuff is over here. Amazon Selling Coach. So here, inventory, it's just telling you what inventory you have, and it's basically giving you a warning saying, hey, you're about to run out of stock over here. Okay, so you can see on this product, current inventory is 1. Sales in the last 30 days is 76. I have 0 days of coverage, meaning that they don't have enough stock to cover. So I've actually sold out of this. I've sold out of this. You could see here, restock, and they give you more alerts over here. This product, sales in the last 30 days, 334. And now, sadly, I'm losing money every day because I just don't have that product. So I'm working with my suppliers quickly as possible to try to get that fulfilled, but it's a little frustrating. So like I said, it's a good problem and a bad problem. And then there's pricing alerts. They give you some over here growth. They give you some related products that they think relate to your product that you might want to start selling. They're decent suggestions, but nothing. I've never acted on any of their product suggestions because they may give me a product that might be like a Fisher Price, related product. Well, I'm not going to FBA Fisher Price. Okay. Payment summary, this is basically how much they're sending you in the bank. Again, it's always like payday when you see this amount hitting your bank, but this is actually low for me because of my stock problem right now. And then so they're going to send you your payments for the last 30 days or whatever, and then you'll have a balance that'll carry forward. Alerts about different promotions. So Amazon lending, they want me to borrow $8,000 at a rate of 4.69%. And I don't like to take interest, but I'm actually considering taking this. Obviously, you need to talk to your accountant. And the reason why I'm trying to see if there is a way I can do this without the interest. The reason why is because the more ways you do business with Amazon, the more value you are to them as a seller. So even though I really don't need this, but I'm giving it a second thought, and I'm talking to my accountant, and I'm talking to my spiritual advisor to see, should I really do this? Can I do this in a way, because there is interest-free ways to hold money. Is there a way I can do this without really carrying interest via a third party or whatever, so on and so forth? Because I'd love for Amazon to know and to see me as a another valued customer, that hey, I have their money. I'm holding a loan. And I think all of these things, the more hooks they have into you, the more hooks you have into them. It's a symbiotic relationship. I think that can actually help you. But of course, that's a personal choice, and you have to figure out what the repercussions or what your dependencies are on that. Okay. Down here, you get headlines. So free removal of your FBA inventory until April 30th, 2016. So what this means is, like it says here, you may have slow moving or low selling inventory. Sometimes you have a product that just won't sell, and they're not going to hold it forever. And after, I think it's 6 months or something, I mean, you're paying fees every month on that, but they're usually pennies. They're not very much. But then after what they call long-term storage, you start paying more. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to incur extra expenses. So they'll tell you, hey, pull your inventory out, otherwise you're going to get hit by long-term storage fees. At that point, you have to pay for that. Well, they have a promotion here saying they'll actually remove it for you for free. You still got to pay the postage and carrier charges and all that, but they are giving you a little bit of a break. All right, down here, performance, and let me see if I can pull this one up here. Okay, so if you continue down your main page, then you're looking at this. And I'm doing screenshots here, guys. By the way, I try to do live as much as possible. But in this case, I mean, all the information is here. It's just a hassle to cover these things in real time. So that's what I've done here. But this is, again, we're on the main page. We've just moved down the page. So now this next box over here, we're looking at performance. And we can see here, currently I have 0 messages from my customers, but I will have a count on this when there are customer messages to me. Any guarantee claims, any chargeback claims, etc. These are all 0. That's good. And then buyer messages that are waiting for your response. And you can see here under 24-hour target, they measure the amount of time that you take to respond to your customer. So one of the things that I advise is that you begin a daily ritual, a daily habit. Once you start selling, a daily habit of checking in and checking your main page of Amazon and checking all these panels, specifically around performance. And if there's a message alert, you'll see it. It'll say 1 or whatever, and you want to respond to those as quickly as possible because it will impact your account health. Okay, and you can see mine is good, which means I've been monitoring it and I've been paying attention, I've been responding, etc. But if you forget or you let that drag on, it's going to hit your account health, and we don't want that because your account can go to a point where it is suspended. So, and that's in the extreme case where you don't respond to your customers at all and they're complaining, and you're just lazy about it, or you're not monitoring your communication. As you know, Amazon is Their motto is customer service is number one. They distinguish themselves from other online retailers in that respect. So you better be on your game on that. Very, very important. Now you get all kinds of alerts, so don't freak out, because when a customer does contact you, they will actually automatically send you an email. So you see it in the email, you see it when you log in. It's very difficult to miss. Okay, so don't worry that you're not going to see it. All right, and then moving over here, there's the headlines I was talking about, the previous headlines over there. Here's some other information about selling tools. Manage your case log. So this is, as I explained in the previous session, this is not customer stuff. This is you and Amazon. So this is me creating a case saying, hey, my picture is not working on my listing or whatever, and they'll create a case log out of that. I can come in here and I can see. So right now you can see one case requires attention. So they've answered one of my inquiries or something, and now I need to go look at it. Now this one here, there's no performance. I mean, if I never look at it, they don't care. You know, this is just me putting in a support ticket. So don't worry about performance on this, but you know, this is definitely where you can see answers from them, requests, etc., etc. All right, sales summary. So the last 7 days, again, my sales have been low, 98 only. In the last 30 days, 732. I had a big ride, and then all of a sudden it dropped because I ran out of stock. And then sell across North America. I'm not doing anything in Canada or Mexico. I have plans to do that, but nothing yet. I'm still focused on the USA. For beginners, you don't want to look at Canada or Mexico. This is like, you know, less than 10% of your sales activity if you expand to these channels, even less than 5%. I mean, it's really, really just very small markets. So I would come back and revisit this after you've been selling for a few months. Every incremental sale does add up, so it's something you want to consider, but certainly not for your first few launches. You've got enough to do just to launch in the US. Okay. All right, and then this is the promotions panel, and this basically shows me how many orders I have received via promotions, and we'll have a whole session on promotions and how to promote your product through advertising, etc. But this is a quick snapshot, and these are all summary snapshots. These are all summary windowlets or modules they're presenting on the main page. These are all of these. This is the top of the page. All of these you can deep dive into by going to your top nav and opening up pages that are specific to all of the information that I've just discussed over here. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so now what I actually want to show you is if you do go to your main page, and let's actually go into some of these pages. So again, we're on the main page over here. You go to your top nav and you get this drop down. So what do we have here? We've got manage inventory, manage FBA inventory. The difference between these two is your inventory could be stuff that you're selling from that is seller fulfilled, meaning that you are going to pack it, prep it, ship it, etc. FBA is everything that you send in to Amazon. Okay, so that's the difference. And let's see, and then I want to dive into a few more things over here. Let me actually show you how manage inventory is going to look. Okay, so if we clicked on manage inventory from this drop down that I was showing you here, and then you're going to get this. Okay, so here you're going to see a line item. These are all of your products. Okay, and you can see here out of stock. So not not good news for me. I got to fix that very quickly. Here there's a little thumbnail image of your actual product, the SKU number, the product name. Okay, and then the rest of the information over here. So you can see my reserves, my unfulfillable, my availability. I'm really low on this stuff, but again. All of your inventory will be listed here, line item. And then any sets that you have will be listed like this, variations to. So, and then I can actually expand this. And so let's say I've got a salad bowl set. I've got a green one and a red one, okay? And I want to list both of them together. So when you go to the home page on my salad bowl set, you can scroll down the page and you can choose the green one and the red one. Well, that's a family, that's a set, that's a variation set is what they call it. So there is a parent to child relationship in there, and the parent is just a header. It's my salad bowl set. And the two children of that product are the red salad bowl set and the green salad bowl set, or whatever I said, blue salad bowl set. So the green and the red are the two children, and what's linking them together is a parent. Okay, and that parent is just virtual. There's nothing there. It's just a way to relate the two color sets together. And you can have all kinds of variations. You can have color, you can have size, just like clothing. If I were to sell a shirt, I could have 3, 4 sizes. Well, they're all children. They're all connected. I could choose the color or the size of the shirt. So, so they're tied together over here. When I would click on this, I would see the parent, which would say salad bowl set, and then underneath that I would see a red one and I would see a blue one. Okay, so that's what this means over here. So again, we'll get into that once you move beyond your first product and you start looking at variations. All right, now all the way here, there is a button next to each one of these which says edit. And what I can actually do over there is I can manage my product, and I have all of these options. So let's actually look at these options. So when I click on that, I can edit. So I can basically take this item here and I can edit it. I can edit the name, I can edit the description, the pictures, and every attribute about that particular product I can edit. I can manage the images, delete the ones that are existing or upload new ones, etc. I can copy the listing here. So let's say I have a red salad bowl set that I'm selling, and it's selling well, and now I decide, hey, I want to sell a blue salad bowl set. I didn't decide to sell them together. I only did the red one, but it's been a month and now I want to sell the blue one, and I don't want to tie them together. I want them as two different products, two different listings. So I can basically come here and say copy listing and make a copy of my red salad bowl set, and it'll create a copy, and then I can go in here and say, well, okay, let's just change everything now that needs to be changed. Let's change the images so it's blue, let's change the description, let's add a new UPC, etc., etc. So it's just a kind of a shortcut way that I don't have to create a brand new listing. I can copy it and then modify it. That's what this means. Add another condition. So this one here, again, it's kind of like editing. I actually have never used this. I just go into edit and modify whatever I need to modify. Change to fulfill by merchant. For whatever reason, I decide I'm not doing FBA. I've got 50 pieces of the salad bowl sets sitting in my garage, and I'll just sell those while I'm waiting for new stock. So I can say change to fulfill by merchant. Now that simply means it's no longer FBA, but it's FBM, fulfilled by merchant. Okay. Send and replenish inventory. So when I run out of inventory and I go ahead and receive some new ones, my supplier is going to be sending new ones to me or directly to Amazon. I would come in here and say, oh, okay, they've already shipped. I've got 500 more of those salad bowl sets coming. Let me click on this, send replenish inventory. And then that basically takes you through a process where you're putting a shipping order in, telling Amazon, hey, I've got 500 new units coming in, and so here's what you need to expect. All right, send replenishment alerts. This is actually pretty important. So this is one way to try and help you via an alert, a replenishment alert, and let you know that your stock is running low and it's time to order some more. Okay, and when you click on that, you can actually put in a quantity. So let's say I had 500 of these salad bowl sets. I can put in a number that says 300. Okay, and so when my inventory level goes from 500 down to 300, it will trigger an alert on the home page, okay, where you saw those alerts, as well as an email. And it'll tell you, hey, it's time to order some more because you've kind of hit your threshold and you got to account for shipping time and manufacturing time and all that good stuff. Okay, match low price, not really relevant for us. This is good when I'm selling branded products. flipping products. You can buy. It's not. You don't have to do just FBA. Obviously, you can go and buy certain products from the store, which is called online arbitrage or retail arbitrage, and then just sell them. So a Fisher Price toy set, right? I can buy it and send it into Amazon and say, hey, I want to sell it. So from there, if some seller is selling it for 20 bucks and I'm selling it for 30, I can come in here and hit match low price, and it'll match it to the lowest competitor that's selling it. Create removal order. So this basically is, let's say I have my red salad bowl sets over here, and for some reason there's a problem with this order. Let's say customer complaints, hey, this thing is melting when I put it in the microwave. Okay, anything like that. And you resolve that issue, but then you find out there's more issues. Well, you don't want to get bad ratings from Amazon, so maybe there's really something wrong with that order, okay? And that does happen, unfortunately. In that case, you want to tell Amazon, hey, send all this stuff back to me, to avoid a big problem with customers. And so you can create a removal order. Or another scenario is you've got a bunch of products, private label products that you're selling, okay? So your red salad bowl sets are selling really well. But you also had some bamboo kitchen spoons, okay? And they sold really well, but then too many people got into it, and now they're not selling. They haven't sold in 3 months, okay? But again, I'm going to teach you not to sell stuff like that. But let's just say you have a product that's just for some reason tanked, okay? So that's something you may want to pull out and say, man, I don't want to get hit with long-term storage fees. Let me just pull it out. Let me liquidate it on eBay or sell it locally or whatever, okay? Again, in that case, you would do a removal order. All right. Create fulfillment order. So this, I don't want to talk too much about this because, again, like I said, there's so many feature-rich things going on here. This is basically a way that you can you can send this order across another channel. All right. Amazon is basically your supply chain company. So you can sell on Shopify, you can sell on eBay, and you can create a fulfillment order telling Amazon, hey, I'm not really selling, I want to take one of these salad bowl sets and ship it to my customer on Shopify. So let me create a fulfillment order. Okay, that's what that is. Print item labels. It's kind of self-explanatory. Item labels for the FNSQs, box labels, things that you have to do. And again, we'll go through modules to show all of that. You can close the listing to say, okay, I'm out of inventory and I'm never going to sell this again, okay, for whatever reason. So let's close this. And you can even delete the product and listing. So I'm never going to sell this. There's no reason for me to even keep it here. I'm never going to restock it. Let's delete the product and the listing. And then advertise. I never do advertising from here. I'll do it from here. Again, just another way to get there. Okay. So lots of stuff that you can do. You're going to spend I actually spend more time on the manage inventory page than I do on the home page, because this is really where you're managing all of your stock and your inventory. So this is good to know, and you're going to spend a fair amount of time in there. So let me come back here. Okay, add a product, or rather, yeah, inventory planning. I'm gonna just kind of skip. It's more statistics and analysis on your inventory, and again, you can explore it. I do recommend that you do come in here and browse and explore, because it's very difficult for anybody to cover the amount of information they provide you. I will, however, give you all of the critical things that you need, and you should be good enough with that for the first year, okay? As you get more and more learned about the system, you can customize, you can do many things, but definitely you should explore some of that. So let me see here. Okay, let's do inventory. Let's do this here. Okay. Add a product. Okay. So from here, you have a brand new private label you've been selling. Now you got a brand new product, or even your first product. you have two different ways to put it, to create a listing for your private label product. Add a product, this is web-based, and add products via upload. This is with CSV files, and we'll go through all of that, but I'm just going to show you really quick again. So here as an example, when you have a brand new product, it's not going to find your UPC. You would basically create a new product listing. But let's say you were selling a product that already exists out there. So I have an example here. So let's say I wanted to sell this, okay, and I was ungated, I was cleared, I was approved, I could do all that, right? So, and I'm actually, I was actually looking at this earlier because I'm thinking about buying it for my kid. So in the URL, you will find the ASIN, and it's always in this form. So, or usually in this form. Name of the product, DP. Sometimes they don't have the name of the product, just DP. And then right here, that's the ASIN. So I can grab this. Let's say I got a wholesale deal, okay? And I have this particular brand and everything, and I'm going to sell it. You notice down here there's 3 new sellers, so it's not just one person, right? I may have a deal with the manufacturer or distributor along with other people, but I can come in here and I can punch in that ASIN and hit search, and look at that, it found it, okay? So now I can say, oh, well, okay, great, I'm going to sell it, I have a great deal, and so on and so forth. But notice this, listing limitations apply. You can't sell everything under Amazon. You have to be ungated in certain categories. You can sell a lot, but you do have to be ungated. And we'll cover that as well, how to get ungated in certain categories. And sometimes the manufacturer of these products will put a restriction on it. So in this case, there actually is a restriction. It says refurbished, used conditions. You are not approved to list in this product category. Okay, so I'm not approved. And I've never really sold in, I guess this is the toys category. Yeah. But it is on my list to get approved. I just haven't had a need for it. And it's a good idea to get yourself approved for when you do need it. And again, we'll cover that some other time. Okay, so that's adding a product. Let's come back here. Adding a product, and then if we do it via upload, when you're doing it in bulk, you know, then this becomes handy. So, you know, the home and kitchen bowl sets, the salad bowl sets that we were talking about, for example, we would come down here, and this requires a walkthrough, and I'm not going to go into it, but I just wanted to show you kind of really quickly. Once you select the category, then it lets you download the template. Then you can take the template and you can fill it in. It is a little cumbersome, but you know, with training and notes, it's fine. Where it's handy is when you have to create the parent-children relationship that I was talking about, or if you're going to do, you know, 6 of them at the same time. So it's kind of a bulk tool, and I have used it. It's never fun, but just something that you should be aware about. And then video tutorials, there's other information here as well. But again, we're not going to do that in the beginning, so we don't need to focus on it too much. Let's see here. Okay, inventory reports. So it shows you your FBA inventory, your active listings. Honestly, I've never really used these reports that much. There are other reports I'm going to show you, but you know, the inventory information, you already saw it on the other page, on your manage inventory page, and this has not been very useful. But again, good for you to browse. You may actually find it useful. Remember, there's left brain people, right brain people. So what I find useful, you know, you may not necessarily find useful. You may like a different view for it, which is fine. So that's why you want to explore a little bit and see, you know, what's good for you. Okay. Let's go back here. Inventory reports. Okay, the next one here, sell globally. All right. So as the name implies, fairly straightforward. North America, Europe. This is basically allowing you to sell across the different Amazon entities globally. Europe, Japan, Mexico, Canada, etc. I'm not in any territory right now except US. And you know, it's really recommended that you not expand into the other territories just yet, because again, you're going to become overwhelmed. When you get to a volume of, I would say, $30,000-$40,000 per month, and that's probably going to take you 6 months to a year, maybe a little more. At that point, then you want to start thinking about, okay, how do I expand my empire? Because you'll hopefully by that time have the logistics down, you'll have a virtual team, you'll have the organization and the tools to do that. So in the beginning, my recommendation is not to bother with any of this. Okay, and let's see here. All right, so now the next thing I want to show you guys really quick. Let me check here. Yeah, so this is pricing. So because mostly what I'm doing is FBA, I don't really find this very useful as well, simply because it's telling me that, hey, I own the buy box 95% of the time. Well, I know that because they're my products. I'm not competing with anybody. But if I decided to start selling, these drones, then I'm competing with others. And I may not always have the lowest price, so I may not control the buy box. And therefore, this might be important to say, I only control the buy box 50% of the time. So again, for FBA, where it's only your product, you're not really competing with anybody, so you don't really care. This is going to be 95, whatever. This is going to be pretty high for you, okay? Sales conversion is important. And again, there's other ways to look at that, so we will move on. So I don't spend too much time over here. Fixed price alerts, manage pricing, all of that is available via the Manage Inventory tab. Okay, when you're looking at your inventory, you can change that right there. So I don't spend too much time there. Now, the next one, this is important, orders. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This is basically all of my, the Amazon customer orders. I keep saying my, but they're not my customers, they're not your customer, they're Amazon's customers, okay? So here is orders, the orders page, the manage orders page, and this is basically a list of all of the orders that are coming in, okay? So you can see here, I've got a bunch of orders. I have the date, I have the timestamp, I have the order detail, I have the customer name. Sales channel is always going to be Amazon unless you use another fulfillment method, like I was saying before. Billing country, and then what kind of shipping was it, expedited, second day, and then the payment. You'll see pending over here, payment complete, so on and so forth, and if there's any actions. And you can do a drop down here and you can go back, pretty far back. You can do an advanced search to say, okay, let me just search for one particular product that I'm selling. You can do a search by SKU. You can do a search by a whole bunch of things. So very useful. Video tutorials, again, worth taking a look at and learn more. So again, browse around, but this is important because sometimes you do have to hunt down an order. If a customer contacts you and says, hey, there was a problem. Well, what order was that and how much did they pay and all that kind of stuff. So this, this is definitely pretty important. Now, on each one of these are hyperlinks. On each one of these, I can actually click and I can see the actual order detail. And that's another important page. So from here, if I clicked on one of these links right here, it would open this up for me. Okay, and this is actually the order, the first item that you saw there. This is the order detail. So here I can see the order ID, seller ID, here's the shipping address of the customer, the name, etc., the phone number. You don't want to call the customer, you don't want to email the customer, you don't want to do anything. Okay, again, these are Amazon customers. So you don't want to be randomly picking up the phone and calling this customer and saying, hey, I just want to check in. You don't want to do that. Okay, this is really just informational in case there's a problem. Amazon takes care of the full customer service experience. You do not have to do anything unless the customer contacts you. You can send some emails as a customer service inquiry, and there's some automated software that will help you when the order goes out, and there's a full sequence. And again, we'll cover that in another module. I send out 3 emails. One says thank you, one says please leave me a review, and then one is a reminder Actually, I think there's 4. There's 2 reminders in there. Hey, thanks again. Please leave me a product review, and please leave me a seller review. Here I can see my item sold for $39.99. Here's the shipping. She had a promotion, so her grand total was $39.99, and that's how much was charged to the buyer. Okay, so good information. Seller memo. So if I want to make a note, this customer called me and had a problem, and I sent her a free one or whatever. So you can put a note in here. That's just for you. Okay. Okay, so from orders, the next one here is advertising. And under advertising, you've got promo and you've got marketing. So let's take a look here. Yeah, you've got a campaign manager and you've got promotions. And so I want to show you some of the promo information here. So the drop down you're going to see here is campaign manager and promotion, and this here is the campaign manager. So what this information is, this is a list of all of the campaigns, the advertising campaigns that I am currently running on Amazon. So you can see my first one here. This is actually running, so this is live. Second one running is live. These are for two different products. The third one is ended. This one is paused because guess what? I'm out of stock. So obviously I'm not going to be advertising for a product that's out of stock. And then this one is ended. So on this first product, okay, let's just say it's my salad bowl sets. And by the way, I don't sell salad bowl sets. So just a useless example or useless product that I picked out. That market is probably flooded. So I would never sell that. All right. So let's say I have an ad running. And this would show me, okay, it's running, targeting, it's automatic. I'm letting Amazon decide what keywords to advertise for me because I'm testing it. I started this on 4/6. I didn't put any end date, and my daily budget is $30, and so on and so forth. And again, targeting, automatic, manual. There's going to be a module just talking about all of this. So don't worry about it. I'm just giving this to you as an overview. So when you hear things like PPC, which is pay-per-click, or advertising on Amazon, etc., that you're a little bit familiar with what that means. Okay, so at this point, that's all you really need to know, and I want you to get a little bit of exposure to it. One thing when we do get into this, you're going to see over here is on this particular product. So far, and this one started very recently, you can see here, so far I have spent 49 cents. I don't have any sales, and my ACOS, which stands for advertising cost of service, is no sales. Well, I literally just started this one. But let's take a look at one that's been running for a little while. So let's take a look at this one here. So on this one, I have spent $110. Every time a customer clicked on it, I'm charged a certain amount, 50 cents, $1, whatever you set it at. And from that $110 that I've spent, I have achieved $460.46 in sales. And so my advertising cost of service is 24%, which is not bad. It's a little high. We want this number to be as low as possible because basically we want to spend pennies to get customers to click on our ad and buy a product. My most successful one is this one right here, the one that I ran out of stock. So on this one, I ran it for quite a while, since last November. Total spend on this was $786 over months. And the sales that I received from that was over $5,800. So $5,874.97 is the sales that came in as a result of this ad, and I spent this. So my cost of advertising here, or my cost of service, is 13%, and that's amazing. That's really good. I'm really proud of this one. So I didn't spend that much, but I made a bunch of money through my advertising. And again, there's a whole bunch of strategies on how to do this, and we'll have another module about this. And you're not ready at this stage to do any kind of advertising, but just something for you to be aware of, that these are some of the strategies that we use to do our product launches. We don't just put them there. We advertise. We get reviews going, etc. We promote the product. Okay. So that's a little bit about advertising, which I think is good exposure for you at this point. Okay, moving on from advertising to reports, and this is important as well. Let me see here. Okay, so let me actually jump into reports right here. Okay, so let me go to payments. So you've got those 4 or 5 different types of reports. Let me actually walk through that. Okay, so payments, and that's the one that we're looking at. This is your monthly payment that they send over to you. So it kind of gives you a bunch of different views. You can do some queries here. You can see a transaction view, statements, date range reports. There's quite a bit that you can do here, but this is looking at what were the product charges, rebates, fees, and all of that kind of stuff. Lots of information here. And again, useful when you're doing analytics and trying to understand your business a little better. Amazon Selling Coach. So Amazon Selling Coach, again, I don't spend too much time there. There is good information. You know, they'll tell you how long you've been out of stock or how many days you have left before you run out of stock. There is other information, how much sales you've done in the last 30 days, 15 days, what's your current inventory level, etc. And so definitely worth perusing. Business reports, that's the next one here. And let me see. So this one here, this is the money shot. This is the one that you see people posting, you know, with a lot of pride, their dollars and cents and what they've done. Okay, you're probably going to spend some good time there, especially in the beginning, because it's so exciting to see your sales. So this over here, you can see this is a snapshot of only today. I sold 9 units. Again, very low because I sound like a broken record, but you can tell I'm a little frustrated about that because this should be a lot higher. So 9 items ordered, and this is how much your product sales were. This is not profit, just sales, okay? And the average price of the items that you're selling. And then you can change this. You can say week to date, month to date, year to date, etc. And then you can actually do lifetime. So I started selling back in in July, but I just put it January 1st. And so I want to see everything that I did last year up to today. All right. And here's where I toast the town and, you know, drink a bottle of champagne if I drank champagne or ruafsa or, you know, whatever you want to drink. But this kind of shows you all of your numbers. So I've been blessed. I mean, you know, like I said, I've been doing this probably about 6 months now. I did some little bit of activity in the beginning of the year, not a whole lot. I was just kind of flipping products a little bit, experimenting. You can see my sales, 2 units for that day, really not a lot. This right here is right around the time I actually got serious. So, so August, September, and then my sales really started taking. This is when I really realized the full potential and said, okay, this, you know, is going somewhere. And so to date, I have sold 127,000 in Amazon sales. Profit margins probably around the 30%. So pretty good. And you know, this is, again, you're going to be looking at this with a lot of pride. I think many of you will probably spend more time on this page than your inventory page, but hey, that's okay. You know, you need to feel good about your business. And for those of you that, you know, you have nothing in here or you have very low, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a journey. It's not a overnight trip. So very, very important. Okay. So let's go on to some other reports over here. Okay, let's see. Okay, fulfillment. Let's go there. All right, so fulfillment. So remember I said Amazon has a lot of stuff? Well, they have a lot of stuff. So there's a ton of information here about your inventory, the age of your inventory, how long your inventory has been sitting there. You can pull those reports. For those of you that are into analytics, you will have a field day because they do give you tons and tons of things to play with. Stranded inventory, that does happen. That's very common. Stranded inventory is stuff that you've sent in and Amazon has lost for whatever reason. I have had that happen. So you want to come over here and look at this. Again, as a beginner, you don't need to worry about this, but after a while, you should, after a while, understand that, hey, you should check this once a month and put this on your calendar to say, hey, the shipments that I sent in 200, and in my inventory, it's only showing 175, So what do I do? So you come over here and you look at what is stranded and what you can do about it. Reserved inventory. You can reserve your inventory. So I send in 200 of those salad bowl sets and I decide, hey, don't sell 50 of them because 50 of them I'm saving because I'm going to sell them via my Shopify store, and I'm going to save them for that, or whatever other reason. So you can actually reserve inventory. And so I won't go through each one of these. I mean, again, there's a lot of information here. So inventory, you can see sales reports. So Amazon fulfilled shipment. Everything we're doing as FBA is all Amazon fulfilled. But if you were doing others, you could see other fulfillment types over there, and all orders. So basically all of your orders. And like I said, we saw some of these reports in the other pages that I've already shown you. So there is redundancy. It just gives you different views. XML, for those of you who are techies, you can pull XML files. You can request a download and bring them into your inventory management system or analyze them yourself, and so on and so forth. Let's see here. You can look at your fees. Okay, request a report. How much are you paying Amazon for the various products that they're selling? You can look at your long-term storage fees. And when I say look at, I mean you have to generate a report and pull it. Okay, reimbursements. You can do a query search on reimbursement and enter a specific SKU and say, hey, how much did I reimburse or whatnot. You can look at returns over here, replacements, so on and so forth. So again, lots of information. It's all good information, and you do want to spend some time exploring that. Next one here, I want to look at advertising reports. So if you click on that, this is basically another view of the advertising campaign from here. If you remember, we were looking at that. Well, this is giving me the number of clicks for each ad that's out there. Here's the average CPC, the cost per click, total spend. And again, I can have further information in here. You can drill down quite a bit. You can look at performance by SKU. You can pull a search term report, so on and so forth. There's quite a bit of information over there. And let's see. Okay. And then the last report I want to show you in this particular category is tax document library. Now, many of you are just starting, so you don't have to worry about taxes from last year, but next year you will. And when that happens, you can come over here and pull your tax document library. So you can download the tax report. Your 1099K is available right here as a PDF. You can pull that and give that to your accountant. Now, for international sellers, that this whole thing, you got to run it by your accountant or your country process and what that looks like. And I know that it's varied by country. Some countries there is a rule where you don't pay taxes. They're exempt. Okay, I think Pakistan might be one of those countries. Somebody was just telling me that the other day. But I really have no knowledge of the international tax laws and implications. That's something you want to talk to your colleagues in that country who have that experience. Okay. Let's see. All right, now the next one I want to look at is performance. Now under performance, there's you remember I was talking on the main screen about making sure that you're in good standing, okay? Well, you can actually see that in performance. So let me go there. So right here, if I click on customer satisfaction, and here I can see how am I doing overall on this business. My order defect rate, meaning my products are good. I'm not selling stuff that breaks or whatever. That's important. My cancellations are good. I don't have too many cancellations. I do have some. You are going to have cancellations. You know, you do get a little bit of all this, but again, as long as it's very, very low, then you're in good standing and you're fine. Late shipment rate, well, Amazon is delivering all this stuff, so I don't have to worry about that. Return dissatisfaction rate, and this is beta. They just launched this. So it's good, meaning that people aren't returning too much of my stuff. Everybody has returns, but if 50% of your stock is being returned, you got a problem, and you better pull that out before they shut you down. But a few customers here and there, and you're always going to have the few, they're returning stuff. Amazon expects that. Any policy violations? Nope, that's good. On-time delivery? That's good. Valid tracking rate. So here, you know, I've made a mistake. I did not put in the proper tracking information or something, so they ding me on that. And that's okay. You know, I mean, that'll be corrected and it'll be fine. So I don't worry about this. Customer service, if customers are not happy with how quickly I respond, etc., that's going to get dinged, but it's positive because I jump on it. Contact response time. I can't take 7 days to respond to a customer. I need to be doing that as quickly as possible. So you got to look for those emails and check in on your home page, you know, every day in the morning. It just takes 5 minutes or less. And then over here, I can see a more breakdown of the customer feedback. I have almost 5 stars. 4.8 out of 5 is really good over the past 12 months, and I have 223 ratings. So, you know, I didn't sit there and do all this manually. There's software that'll do this, and it's pretty inexpensive. I pay 35 bucks or something for a software that sends out a thank you and all this kind of stuff, and we'll cover all of that. So that report under performance is important, and I'm going to show you another view of that. Actually, we're going to go and look at that after. I want to show this one here. So we're still in the same report. We were looking at the summary, but the next tab over is account health, okay? And customer feedback and so on and so forth. So under account health, this is just another view of my account's health. So my order defect rate. So we're getting into more detail now. Cancellation rate, late shipment rate, so on. There's that valid tracking rate that I got dinged on, okay? And then individual product performance. My top products, you know, are going at 100%. My bottom performance. I've had some issues. Like I said, last year I started with some products that were not private label. So I've got a few issues there, but over time, you know, it's not a big deal. It wasn't the majority. It was a very, very minor few, and that's okay. That's expected. Okay, let's see. And so we looked at customer service. We looked at feedback is very similar. And the next one, I want to look at, let me go back to the page right here. Okay, so again, I walked through a few of these. I expect that you'll walk through the rest. They're very similar. They're good to know. One other thing I want to point out over here is under settings. Okay, account information, that's fairly obvious. That's your name, your address, your business account information, your business address, your notification preferences, so what you may want to turn off certain emails that you don't want to get, etc. Fairly straightforward. And then here, login settings, return settings, when product is being returned to you, gift options, I haven't bothered with that. shipping settings, tax settings, user permission. Now, as you grow your business, you may have a friend or an employee or a virtual assistant that you want them to help you do your listings, or you want them to look after your customer service emails. So you're going to have people that are going to need to get into your account. You're also going to have applications, programs that you're going to attach to your account. This is where you manage all of that, user permissions. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, this is it right here. So this is, I don't know why this is highlighted, but it's this is user permissions, okay? So here's where all of your current users are. So the first one is me, okay? These next three are actually people that are managing my account in some capacity, virtual assistants who help me with listings or whatever. And then applications, and this is me again. So you've got individual users, and then you've got applications, programs that help you do different things, okay? So under programs, there's me again, and then there's other applications that I currently use. You don't need any of these right now, but as you progress towards selling, there are going to be applications that I'm going to recommend. And I won't get into it now, but you do want a good inventory management system, you want a good feedback system, and they're relatively inexpensive. And they will help you automate tasks, they will help you, take care of a lot of the business that you don't want to be doing manually. So you can manage all of that under user permissions, okay? And let me see here. Okay, and then one last one I want to show you. Let's go back here. Fulfillment by Amazon. All right, this is additional information about your FBA fulfillment. And so who does your labeling, who prepares it. So merchant means I prepare my package. I don't want Amazon to do it. The default. I can always change it during the time of the order. And inbound settings, so repackaging settings. So again, a lot of the stuff we're going to get into as we create our actual first order. And automated long-term storage removals, you can set that so that automatically every 6 months, if there's stuff left over, they'll send it back to you, right? But I don't necessarily want that. So multi-channel, we talked about that. If I want to be fulfilling elsewhere, other channels, Amazon.ca.mexico, these are disabled, right? As I mentioned to you, I'm not selling in those marketplaces, although I'm beginning to look into it. So right now, just leave everything as default as is, and as we get into it, then you can I'll provide instructions for you to change this stuff. Okay, so I've covered a lot. It's probably a little overwhelming, and that's okay. You just got to get used to this system. There's a lot to cover, and the more you use it, the more familiar you're going to become. You understand the basics, managing your alerts, looking at your customer alerts that come in, looking at your main page, your inventory, your basic reports, etc. And you'll do just fine. And then again, we have the community, we have the support community. There's a lot of knowledge here that I expect that you're going to be sharing and receiving. So share what you learn, answer questions that you see other people posting, and the same will happen for you. And I, again, iterate, don't contact me with your question. And I say that because I will take time to get back to you. I've got a lot of things going on. I want to answer everybody's question, and I do my best to get into the group at least 2-3 times a day and answer questions. And I like to do it there because I want everybody else to learn from that question. And I guarantee you, whatever question you want to ask me, there's probably about 30 other people that are going to ask that question at some point. So why not benefit from that knowledge share? Okay, so don't take it the wrong way if I send you back to the group. I'm doing that because I want really the knowledge sharing to happen globally. Okay, thank you very much, and we will catch you in the next module.